Slow. Dia slow lagi. Tak dengar. Sorry sir, kita orang tak dengar. Dia either mic tu jauh ataupun mic tu problem.
Hello? Okay.
Okay, much better sir.
Tadi saya guna Bluetooth punya connection, tak tahulah.
Oh, I see.
Dia sustain lah.
Probably ada problem tu. Ada problem pun. So, is our technical team ready? Okay. So, we are going to live now. Okay. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and welcome back to the audience of Aviation Exhibition 2021. So, we would like to welcome the newly joined the audience to Aviation Exhibition Day 1. So, this morning,
Yes.
we got opening ceremony and
Airline session.
airline session, yes, as our first slot. So, this evening, we have something interesting, you know.
Yeah. What's it, Aiman?
So, a lot of people use the service that is mentioned in this, that will be the topic of this second session, but they don't realize it. Is so crucial to kita punya industri lah kiranya.
Betul.
So topik apa tu Ifah agak?
Before that,
Cakap dulu.
topik tu Aiman nak tahu?
Ya, saya nak tahu topik
nak
tu
tahu
dulu.
juga.
Saya
So
nak tahu topik
the
tu.
topic is all about cargo and airport.
Yes. Airport and cargo and airport. So memang ramai orang yang guna airport and cargo services. Macam contoh kalau if we bought something over on online, the courier service is actually using cargo services, and even though we go to the airport, okay, kita guna dia punya amenities, kita and pergi tanda semua tu, is actually we are using their service. So many people macam terlepas pandang lah kiranya.
Betul.
So tapi ada something special sikit pasal petang ni punya session. Apa tu Ifah? Agak Ifah tahu tak?
Apa special tu Aiman? Sebab kita ada prepare banyak special. So apa yang special yang Aiman mentionkan tu?
Saya rasa aside from kita punya two credible speakers lah, which is Mr. Zahir and Mr. Munzir, kita ada something else yang saya rasa akan buatkan audience excited.
Ya. So Ifah dengar pun, I heard pun, I rasa excited, tapi malangnya kita moderator, kita tak boleh take part lah.
Committee tak boleh take part. We can't take part.
Yeah, so there will be a lucky draw session at the end of this session. With that, our committee will blast the Google form link at the live chat. So our committee will blast the Google form link at the live chat at YouTube, not the Teams. Okay, and you need all the audience need to fill in the G form before 3:50 PM. So pukul 3:50 PM kita orang akan tutup G form, and after that kita akan start lucky draw session lah. Okay Aiman. Okay,
so saya pun dah nampak yang kita punya our community has blast the link to the YouTube chat. So without wasting our time, let's start. Okay?
Sure.
So before we start, we want to introduce to you guys who's our speaker for this evening. So the first speaker is Mr. Muhammad Munzir bin Khairuddin, and our second speaker will be Mr. Zahir Yaakob. So we had done our research, so we want to introduce a little bit about their background.
Betul.
So back to you, Ifah.
Okay, so as orang tua-tua cakap, orang muda-muda ambil tahu pasal, dia cakap tak kenal maka tak cinta.
Yes.
So dekat sini kita nak mengenali dua speaker kita, tapi bukan untuk bercinta, tapi untuk menimba ilmu daripada mereka berdua, beliau. So a brief introduction about, firstly Ifah akan brief introduction about Mr. Munzir. So Mr. Munzir bin Khairuddin, who is the lecturer and and Bachelor of Aviation Management (BAVM) on job training OJT coordinator of Unique Almiat. And Aiman, Mr. Munzir also has 8 years experience in education, also currently focus research industry on halal logistik, airlines and air cargo. So kita boleh belajar lagi banyak tentang halal logistik dengan Mr. Munzir akan datang. Okay, also Mr. Munzir has industry experience in air freight industry. So itu sedikit sebanyak lah. Ifah boleh share, tak nak banyak-banyak, nanti kita
terambil pula point.
Okay.
Kalau Ifah dah research pasal Mr. Munzir, Aiman pula research pasal Mr. Zahir.
Boleh.
So from what I have researched before this, our second speaker, which is Mr. Muhammad Zahir, he's already retired actually.
Yeah.
He used to hold the position of Head of Commercial Business in Operation dekat Brahim Sets Food Services. So as you all know, Brahim ni is one of the food provider for Malaysia Airlines before this. And but currently he's contributing back to the future leader of in aviation industry. So he is currently a part-time lecturer in Unique Almiat. So for more details about both of our great speakers, so let's welcome Mr. Munzir and Mr. Zahir. So before that, how are you, Mr. Munzir and Mr. Zahir?
Yeah, very fine.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so we already did our research, but there are some part maybe we missed out. Okay, dalam kita punya research kan.
Betul.
So kiranya the first thing first yang kita orang nak tanya lah, actually we want to ask both of you to introduce yourself. So any one of you can start, either Mr. Munzir or Mr. Zahir.
I leave to Mr. Munzir first lah.
Mr. Munzir.
Because he's still working.
I see.
No worries, inshallah. Alright, and very good afternoon. My name is Muhammad Munzir bin Khairuddin, PhD. So far I'm living at Trajaya, Preston 18. And so far I'm working with Unique Almiat. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We have some technical problem just now.
Alright, no worries. So Unique Almiat lecture for the coordinator. I'm doing this for halal logistics and airfreight on. So by the way,
Sorry, Sir Munzir. It seems like your voice is not that clear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to use that. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it is much clear.
Is it better?
Yeah, it is much better.
Alright. So inshallah, my friend, I'd like to share with you together some experience and knowledge regarding to the topic we'll discuss today, inshallah.
Okay, yeah, sure. So thank you, Mr. Munzir. We would like to proceed with Mr. Zahir. Please introduce yourself and maybe some little bit background.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everybody, fellow student and lecturer, especially our Mr. Munzir over here. Yeah. Experience, my experience. For your question, like you mentioned earlier, I'm retiree right now. Yeah. So previously I started in airline industry as a Malaysia airline staff earlier. There was in 1989. So after that, few evolution on the company. Then the company changed hand a few times, become what do you call that? A public listed company, including the what do you call it? The stake acquired by many what they call it, foreign company like Lufthansa, Sketches, something like that. And then a few that, and then what else? What else I want to tell you? So I take the option to leave the corporate world in year 2020, just 2 months before COVID-19. Yeah. So because initially I wanted to do something else lah, for almost 25 years plus in the industry. So I wanted to do something else. All right. So right now, airline industry become my passion actually. Yeah. So for past 25 years, we gain a lot of experience. So personally, I wanted to share this with all the students. So I hope all the aviation students can benefit the knowledge sharing that we will do. We do that. Okay, I think it's about all right now.
Okay, so thank you to both Mr. Zahir and Mr. Muzi for the brief introduction about yourself. So as we all know that both of you has some experience, but especially Mr. Zahir, 25 years experience in airline in the industry. So could you share with us what is your previous position and what job scope that you cover in that previous position?
Okay, actually I just wanted to go back a little bit. I started with the airline as a catering assistant under in-flight service division of Malaysia Airline. So after that, after a few years, I climbed the ladder and become supervisor and executive, and then become head before the last position that I hold. Okay, the other position. So we cover actually in 25 years we cover every corner of the in-flight catering for airline. We cover every corner. So we were positioned in the operation side. We operation in the kitchen production side. At that time also we were attached to finance department. We were attached to after sale and service. And then before I leave, I think 5 to 10 years before that, we created one more, what they call that, diversified business. Instead of just focus on the airline business, we also embark into what they call it, a commercial business. Commercial meaning that we're not just serving people above 30,000 on the air. We what they call it, venture into serving people on the ground. Serving people on the ground. So just to share a little bit, on the ground meaning that we do industrial catering, we do catering for train service. Train service, we do train service, and then we do some corporate event like F1 event, something like that in KLIA there. As well as we do serve what they call that high quality meal, airline meal for the corporate, for the corporate organization. So that is the what they call that, the thing that we do. Okay, go back to my last position in commercial. We concentrated more on to help. Before COVID-19. Come into the picture in 2020. So 3 to 4 years before that, we already feel the pinch of what they call that economic downturn slowly. Downturn slowly, because the airline start to reduce their what they call that, the operating cost by the first thing what they do, the airline, they will cut on the catering side. So they will cut on the catering side. This is the basic thing. If you check, almost all airline in the world will do that. They will start to cut here and then to save money. So we start losing money from 100 million a year, that our profit become lesser and lesser. So that's why the top management decided to venture into what they call a commercial business. So it started from there until I left in early 2020. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, I see. So, what about you, Mr. Munze? Is there any previous position? And I believe, as my partner, Miss Ifa, said that you has 8 years of experience in education, and currently you are focusing on research industry on halal logistics. So, can you explain a little bit more about that?
Okay, right. Before I'm going for the second part for my current situation, current position, actually, before this I have experience in Mascargo, right? But the position is not real lah, meaning that I'm just only assisting, right? Assisting Department of Safety and Security at that time. But I'm not longer at that company since my interest actually goes to education, right? But when I'm at Mascargo that time, actually, I learned very much regarding to the how to handling the cargo, how to make sure the cargo secure, because cargo actually have a lot of types, right? Which is we need to put some priority on them to make sure that the cargo is secure, right? So they have a lot of things actually we can do to make sure that the cargo is sustained regarding to the safety and security, right? So in the safety and security department at that time, actually my job scope actually looking for the to make sure that the environment of safety in the hangar, right? Sorry, in the warehouse, right? So my duty at that time actually mostly goes to the warehouse, right? Doing my job to looking at the person who actually doing fall, right, and or not following the standard in order to enter the warehouse, right? But for the current position, actually, I'm doing the little bit different because at that time, because my interest really goes to the education, right? So then I decide not to continue, and alhamdulillah, when I'm try to get into the UNIKL, actually, that's one of my advantage lah, right? So by the way, so some experience from the Mascargo that time, maybe not so long time I mean, but some experience I get from there actually can be shared together in the class, inshallah.
Yeah, but I believe even though the experience is not as much as Mr. Zahir has in the past, but I believe experience is experience, and experience makes people mature, and yeah, and they can share to other people, and it's an honest intention to share that experience, just like what you guys did. Okay, so as we all know, even though Mr. Zahir and Mr. Munze has already retired, but no, Mr. Zahir has already retired from his position, which is head of so head of commercial business. So, what are the requirements that you need to be in that position? Yeah.
The question is for me, right?
Yeah, the question is for you.
Okay, the requirement, we talk about requirement, there are two things. One is you yourself, and another one is your, what do you call that, your personal certification that you have. Of course, academic background is very important because of why? If you have some kind of a degree or diploma, kind of thing, meaning that you are little bit high position from the rest of the people, so you need to have that. Yeah. So when you do your degree or your master, whatever, you've been trained to become a leader actually. So education is very important. So the other thing, you need to have experience because of why this we talk about in-flight catering alone. So everybody know the textbook also say the journal whatever also say that this in-flight catering is a very complex what they call that business or processes that you need to go through. So in order for you to become a leader, even though a small leader like a shift leader or whatever, you need to have some sort of quality, some sort of quality that become some people say leadership quality is there. You need to show that. Yeah, you should be able to lead a group of people, to manage things. Because of why? By having that 24 hours, operation. So for past 25 years plus, this catering building never switch off the light. So we operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. For I think more than 30 years above the history of the in-flight catering. So to do that, to manage that is a bit difficult. That you need have to have a certain quality in you, to manage that. Of course, I was put on shift work for more than 17 years to cover everything. More than 17 years, so up and down. So my kids. Most of the time don't see me. When I come back, I go to sleep and I wake up, I go back to work. So quite passionate in the work. Quite passionate because of why my dream since my younger days. I wanted to work with the airline. So I was brought to the airport in Subang last time in 1980, something like that. And so when I saw the aircraft, I told myself that this is the work I wanted to do when I grew up. So it's very interesting. Very interesting to work with airline industry. So I work myself up to the last position that we have. So the quality we have here, we can conclude that the some kind of skill and leadership skill, something like that, to lead. Because of why, when you work, you want to grow to higher position as possible. So two things. One, academic background, you need to have that because you learn the technique, like aviation management student. I'm quite glad that you learn a lot of things. You learn catering, you learn cargo, you learn air traffic control. This is what I call that the requirement actually that you have. You are the right person later on to work in the airport actually. Yeah, I think that one can cover that question for time being. Okay, all right.
So thank you to Mr. Zahid for the explanation on the requirement for you to be in that position. So let's shift our focus to Mr. Munsey. And even though he's saying that his position doesn't really exist, and I'm quoting him, he said that he only assisting on safety and security of mass cargo. But for me, to be accepted by Mass Cargo, one of the leading cargo service airline in our country, is quite impressive for me. So, what are the requirements that Mass Cargo are looking specifically to be in your position just now, before this? Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Right. Regarding to be the position, for example, I'm saying that for the better position, right? Better position in Mass Cargo, actually, you need to be somebody. I mean, regarding to the education level, right? Regarding to the education level, meaning that there actually has been separated into two level, which is we call it as officers, right? Officer and executive, right? Meaning that if you got below than diploma or degree level, so then you will as group as officers. But to be an executive, actually you actually cannot jump in directly into be the executive in Mass Cargo, right? So you must start by starting your day by having MT, we call it MT, management training, right? Management training for 1 year, right? After you have done your interview, you have a pass for everything, then you need to be management trainee for 1 year. That is a situation where actually you can learn. It's not exactly you stay at one department, right? You actually can go anywhere actually, but with the permission from your bosses right? So then after 1 year, so then you will push up to be an executive, right? But to be an executive, it's also it depends on the HR will be decide what is your capability, right? Meaning that if you are strong in the managing the operation, so then they will put on the operation. If, for example, if you're strong regarding to the sale and marketing, so then they will put into the marketing side. So the HR actually they will actually will see your competency, right? Competency. So then if you qualify enough to go to the position for the department, so then you can be that for that position for the department lah. So in Mascargo actually they got 4 of them, right? We got financial, we got operation, we got sale, and also the business development, right? So actually you cannot choose, right? You cannot choose, but it is depend on your competency, which decided by the HR, right? And also your upper level lah, right? Maybe you have a good talking or with him or her, then they will be good for you for that position.
So basically, if you, in order to be an exec in Mascargo, so you have to pass a certain certain exams, and then you will be accepted to become an MT, management trainee, prior to becoming an exec in Mascargo, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, cool. Okay, so another question for you, Mr. Munze. So in this Industrial Revolution 4.0 with all the AIs and the 5G is coming to Malaysia, what are your opinion on the cargo operation in the future?
All right. Cargo operation actually nowadays I can see, right, there's some improvement. There actually some improvement that and increment regarding to the demand, right? As you can see, actually, cargo or air freight business or industry actually is depending on 2 factors. Firstly, it's depend on the demand, and secondly, it's depend on the fuel costs, right? But recently, when the COVID coming, we can see that they have increasing demand on e-commerce, right? So when e-commerce is going up, right, going better, right, meaning that there was a good relationship between shopper, meaning that seller and buyer, right? Meaning that there are actually no borderless, right? The seller and buyer actually borderless. So that's why we can see that the increment of demand regarding to the air cargo actually is better right now, right? And we can see right now when COVID-19 is starting by early of 20, isn't it? Or mistaken, actually there are some decrement regarding to the fuel costs, right? At that time, you can see there will another factors which is push the air cargo to be one step upper, right? By the way, it's one of the two of the factors lah. We can see, and what from the IATA's mentioned in the white paper, right? It's mentioned that there will be increment every year regarding to about 4%, right? Because of what? Because of the e-commerce, right? You know, we can see that the power of e-commerce, right? So then, because of e-commerce, there was a borderless. So there will actually an opportunity for the air cargo to increase the business in future.
So basically, you are saying that with the rise of e-commerce, where we can buy anything from anywhere in the world. So if that demand increase, it will also increase the cargo operations in demands exponentially.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I'm sure that some of us also interested in airline catering also. So a question that we have prepared for you, Mr. Zahir. So what is your opinion on the difference on airline catering operations now and before the pandemic?
Okay, just to share a bit, is it too bad? Because why the COVID have given a very severe impact to the industry. It's not just the airline catering, it's just for the airline as well. that is very simple. That is very simple term that we use. Sorry. If no flight or the airline flying, there is no catering. So it's simple as that. No flight, meaning there is no catering. So basically, in-flight catering, they are solely depend on the airline. So it was a saying also. So when the flight fly, people need food to eat. So it's very simple as that. So probably people can fly less than 4 hour flying time. It's still okay, they don't have food. But more than 4 hours, they will require a food to be there. That is become a nature of a human being. They want to eat. Especially when you fly above 30,000 in the air, you get hungry faster. You get hungry faster. So another term, what airline or in-flight catering is focusing in is some what they call that term we call that angry customer. A hungry customer is an angry customer. So we have to make sure all the customer airline have to make sure all the customer are happy during their journey. So what is the thing that will make people happy? With full stomach. Let them eat and then they can sleep, they can enjoy the flight. So you don't have food, meaning that they are not happy. They start complaining here and there. So that is very, what they call that, very important. Okay, go back to the impact because of COVID-19 in in-flight catering business. Of course, there are severe impact. Everybody is crying right now. Everybody is crying right now. So this COVID pandemic is something that we never expect in the industry actually. Even though in the in-flight catering or airline, we never imagine. So previously we have what they call that some kind of like JE, like what they call that, some diseases. We call diseases as that. Previously, so we got H1N1, the kind of thing. So people don't feel the impact because why? Short-term period. Short-term period, probably 1 or 2 months, or they restricted a few flights to some destination, and the rest will be okay. But this pandemic, nobody operate. If you come to the airport, not this month, probably a few months back, you can see all the aircraft is parking all over the parking bay. It's like a ghost town. Nobody at the airport, nobody fly. So go back to the catering. Of course, it's very impact. Financially, it's very impact. So we recorded severe negative on a profit and loss account. So everybody is doing that. In fact, the company has to lay off some of the staff. I think it's about more than 40% being laid off. They got two type of layoff. One is a permanently laid off. Another one is a temporary layoff. Temporary layoff. Some people was given option to take what they call leave without pay or half pay leave. A few category for the rest of the people. Okay, like senior people. Like senior people who reaching 55 or almost 60. Was what they call it nicely advised by the company to take what they call that. If you want to retire, probably we can give you some token retire. So basically, I'm one of them. I'm one of them. So I take the option to retire at age of 55. So after 2 months, there was what they call that some restriction on travel. So we can see severe impact on that. All right. So if you ask me, comparison before pandemic and after pandemic, there is 2 different scenarios. So actually, in-flight catering business is a profitable business actually. In Malay proverb, they say that kalau you berniaga, you rugi adalah dosa besar. So meaning that perniagaan itu menguntungkan. So we make a lot of ringgit, million ringgit a year basically before the pandemic. But after the COVID, we are losing a lot. We are losing a lot actually. Okay. I think that's it cover.
Yeah, I think that should be just fine. So just a reminder to all the audience, if you guys have any questions, you can just type it in the chat box so that I will take a look and I will read the questions to you, to our respective speakers. So I have a question for Mr. Zahir, actually from the YouTube comment. So I have a question. Did we need to take management course to work at Brahim's, or if we take technical course also can work there? Yeah.
Okay. Basically, this one is a lot of question that I got from the student, my student as well. It is basically what you need to do if you want to become executive level and above. Okay, just to share a bit about Mr. Muzi explanation just now. In Malaysia airline or in-flight catering, they got two types. One is they call that executive level. The other one is a graded level. So if you are a supervisor and below, you are calling that a graded level. So basically, you are not included in the executive team actually. So if you want to be an executive team, firstly, nowadays diploma is not being counted anymore. You must have actually be a degree in any discipline. So just a bonus for the aviation student, you are different from the rest because of during my time there was no what they call that aviation management courses or whatever it is. But this is an advantage for you. In fact, in Brahim set food services, we got I think 5 or 6 people coming from MIAT, coming from Bachelor Aviation. So they are working in the company right now. Some of them are already executive, some is still. Okay, let's say we go back to the scale, those scale like Malaysian government scale. If you have a degree, you will start off, they will give you a position. The highest is supervisor. Supervisor, the salary range is between 16, 18, something like that. So if you are degree level, this is the first you start without experience, right? If I'm not mistaken, I just quoted as an example. Okay, they will give you a position of, if you are fresh, probably they give you a senior officer or officer position, which fall under graded staff. So from there, like Mr. Muzi was saying, you have to have the competency for you to be selected as executive. Executive. Okay, if there any position, vacancy or whatever this is coming out as an executive level, probably you can try. You can try because your academic qualification is already there. You have your possess degree, but without experience. So they can put you on the management trainee, or we call the MT over there. So if you pass, you can proceed. So that position you need to do. So academic qualification is there for the MIAT student. So the only thing, whether you are excel in a certain competencies like leadership quality, that kind of thing. So you have to go through that. Okay. What can you come back to the question again? Probably I got a few points to do.
Oh, the question was.
I got carried away. Sorry.
It's okay, sir. So the question was from Kai Hilmi. I have a question. Did we need to take management course to work at Brahim's, or if I'm from technical course, can also work there?
Okay, actually, that one is a personal advantage. Actually, if you have a management course that you do on your own, it's a advantage for you. So when you sit down for interview, they will look at what kind of management course that been taken by you before you join the company. If you don't have, okay, let's say you have opportunity being employed by the company without just fresh graduate. So they will put you and then they will give you appropriate management course. If you are supervisor or senior officer, there are certain course for that level. We call that for that graded level. So they will train you. They will train. These are considered on-job training as well. So on-job training as well. So if you are employed as executive, there will be what they call that executive program. Mr. Muti, what I mentioned in MT, they call that. They will send you, they will teach you how to do financial account, how to do what they call that human relation, public relation, whatnot. So they will do that. So don't worry. for the person who posed that question, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. It's an advantage. Yeah, if you have a lot of diploma or degree, it's an advantage for you. Yeah, so you can work. Yeah, you can work. You can start actually. I know that most of you, the ambition is to work with the airline, but it's okay when you work with the airline catering as well. So basically, the background handling the company is almost the same. Only the company will tell you the difference. Yeah.
So basically, regardless of your qualifications, if you have enough qualification, you can work at Brahim's regardless of your whether you're coming from the management Bachelor of Aviation Management or even the technical program.
Yeah. No
Right.
problem.
No problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next question will be directed to Mr. Munze. So the most what in your opinion, what is the most demanded area of cargo that offers job to fresh graduates?
Okay. Regarding actually when we are entering the industry, mostly in the air freight, actually we can, as mentioned by Mr. Zahir, right? It is based on our competency, right? Meaning that we cannot sell what actually we are interested, except we have somebody to talk and so on, to slow talk and so on, and maybe some position if we, so that by chances maybe will go to us, right? But to start as a position to this company, actually, Thomas Cargo, I mean, actually they are looking for starting by MT lah, as I mentioned earlier, MT management trainee. So then after some period or 1 year, if you have some competency has been listed, so then you will be put in the department which is needed lah, right? Which is needed. So by 1 year actually, you actually has been trained for some much information lah regarding to the business, regarding to the operation, right, and so on. Because as we can see that air cargo actually is a very critical business, right? Even though relating with the cargo itself, just only thing which is we actually did not have any feeling as all right, but because it is owned by the customers, right? So we need to take care of that. So some knowledge need to gain first, right? In order to undergo this, to make sure that the operation, the business of Mascargo actually will be better lah, right? So that's why, right? As for those who are interested, right? Actually, it is when I'm looking at Mascargo, actually, you actually need to take some advantage lah from OJT, right? So some OJT, because that way, sometime at Mascargo actually they try to riki, right? To try to seek for opportunity for the student, mostly for the BAVM, right? So because they know that BAVM has different talented lah, meaning that extra knowledge lah from the courses, right? So that's an extra for BAVM lah. So when you have, if you are interested to join Mascargo, so actually that is a way lah how to join, right? How to join by having starting with OJT first, right? Right.
So basically, the point that I can summarize is there is no definitive department that offers job to the students, but to the fresh graduates, but it's more on your skill and your kepakaran lah, your expertise. Yes, prior to becoming prior to secure that job in the Mascargo itself or any cargo company. So I have a question for you, so Mr. Munze, from the YouTube. So and Fatinah NF said that I have a question for Sir Munze. What is your overview about the air cargo industry after the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, after the COVID, actually, that is a new phenomena is coming, right? Why I'm saying that the new phenomena is coming because while COVID happening, right? Actually, the people actually can't travel much, right? But they having something which is they want to travel, they want to buy something, right? So then, by that way, the technology has actually assisting to get the people, right? To get the people to purchase something, which is as mentioned earlier by e-commerce, right? By having the e-commerce, right? Now we can see, right? A lot of something which is a new platform coming, right? Not maybe formerly we just only heard about Lazada, right? But during the COVID-19 starting, right? We can see the new coming such as um, Lazada, Alibaba, right? Shopee, right? So that is just only in Malaysia, not we not count which is outside in Malaysia, outside from Malaysia, right? So by that way, actually, in the future, there was really have a high chances, right? A high chances to make sure we can see that the business of air cargo actually can be more better, right? More better and so on. So by technology also we can see, right? It is helping much, right? It's helping much because not only because the technology regarding to the IoT and so on, but it's mostly related with the internet connection, right? The key is the internet connection, right? So by internet connection, it actually will be worldwide, right? And also we are actually helping the industry related, right, in order to survive. So that's why we can see, right, in the future, inshallah, and currently you can say air cargo industry actually can sustain, right, because it's handling the cargo, right, which is cargo actually come from the demand from passenger, from the customer purchase, right? It's not, if we compare regarding to the passenger, by physically when passenger cannot travel, so how the airline can survive? No, right? So that's why we can see, that's why some airline actually struggle, right? And you can see some of the airline actually, they have changed their mind in some, maybe they are not converting, but they have changed for some time lah, they get to the operation, right? In order to get some financial support, right? So that's why we can see the internet actually is very the important thing lah in order to keep survival of the airline and also air cargoes.
All right, thank you to Mr. Munzir for the excellent answer. I have an open question for both of you, Mr. Zahir and Mr. Munzir. So it's from Wazir Fitri. He asked, do we need to take master or PhD to have a good position in company? So both of you can answer it, starting from any one of you.
Okay, let me go first, since Mr. Munzir just finished. Alright. You don't need to have a master degree or PhD just to be a excellent person in the organization, especially in the corporate world, airline corporation. So in Malaysia, the qualification to become an executive is right now is a bachelor degree. Yeah, is it? Yeah, correct me, I'm wrong, Mr. Muzi. Yeah, bachelor degree actually. Yeah, if you have a master degree or PhD, is an advantages for you. So basically, what people they further doing master or PhD, they are going toward academic position already. Yeah, so they wanted to leave the corporate world. They want corporate world and then go to the academic. Yeah, okay. To be frank with you guys, for myself. So I work in the corporate world because I got a plan. I don't want to finish my time in the corporate world actually. Yeah? So I wanted to become an academician as well. Yeah? So I started a bit late at age of 55. 55. I should start about 45 or some before 50, something like that. So we people toward that. Okay, let's go back to the question again. So you don't need to have, but it's good to have. It's good to have, meaning that high respect being given to you. If you have a master degree or PhD or a doctorate, when you work, sorry, when you work in the corporate world, people look at you at a very different angle, a very different, because of why, don't play with the guy. This guy will have a good brain, yeah. So he can think, he can be a wise person. So two things in the corporate world. One thing is you can become a good manager, but probably at the same time you are not a wise manager. Yeah. So you need to have these two quality. Yeah. So you are good manager, at the same time you are wiser. You are wiser and wiser as you grow up. Yeah. So you need to have that. Yeah. So don't worry much, but you need to do a master or PhD. It's not necessary for that particular young guys, fresh graduate. Degree, bachelor degree should be enough. Yeah. In my previous company, we doesn't specific aviation student only. No, we don't do that. We have a petroleum graduate as well. Become what they call that, auditor in flight catering. Yeah. We got a chemistry graduate. We got a social science graduate. We got all of plenty. As long you got a bachelor degree, your level, what they call that, a level of thinking is different already. We look by the management. So let's try. Yeah, let's put up, okay, as your first job. Don't be too choosy on the first job actually. Yeah, don't be choosy. Yeah. So you can work in a petrol station to become what they call that, a petrol pump attendant. It's never mind. It's never mind. Okay, I just want to add a little bit on the OJT. Some people, if you agree with me, Mr. Moses, some students, they don't take it seriously when they do OJT in any different company. They don't take it seriously. Yeah, they just play around. Yeah, of course, if you play around, people are watching you. Probably some vacancy that will coming up. When they look at you, you play around, you don't come to work. Yeah. So you don't finish your task, whatever they will put a negative. This guy, that's it. And OJT, that's it, goodbye. I don't want to see you anymore. So through my experience, I was asked to supervise a few MIAT students that working with me in operation area. So I will tell management, okay, this guy is okay, this guy is good, this guy is excellent. So take opportunity, OJT, make it seriously. It's like as you are working there. Okay, one more thing. Once you are being selected to do OJT in this any particular corporate world, meaning that you are above the rest of the people, one step ahead already. You've been selected. Yeah, you've been selected. At the same time, do it correctly, and then the people will what they call that, select you to become their staff. The main what they call that, the main wrongdoing is done by the student because they play around. So that's the way I look it from the corporate world. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Zahir, for the excellent answer. So let's hear from Mr. Munzir. What about you? Your opinion about the question just now?
Okay, direct to the point, right? I can say that for those interested in education industry, or maybe to be academician, it's better to get the master or PhD level, right? But for those interests goes to the industry, right? I mean, as mentioned by Mr. Zahir just now, it's better. It's enough to get just only get the degree level, right? Because when you're going with the degree level, at least you can secure your place as an executive, right? But if you actually got a diploma and below, then it's undergraded stuff, right? As I mentioned earlier, right? Which is regarding to the perk and income actually is lower, right? But I just want to say regarding to OJT just now, right? Because I just want to read it as Mr. Zahir just mentioned right now. Actually, when in order to select your industry company, right? Actually, it is based on the interest, right? I always advise my student for semester 6, before you go for your OJT, please select the company which is you are interested, right? So then, if by chance or opportunity by that time, maybe you are straightly can go to for the work, right? As I have a student last semester, right, who actually worked with Hammock helicopter, right? She actually very interested in MRO in helicopter in Subang, right? By that chance, alhamdulillah, she get the title as an executive for that company, right? So please choose the company which is you are interested first, right? So set in your mind which actually you are interested. Airline, we got airport, we got warehouse, we got logistic, we have MRO, so much, right? Because in aviation industry, actually the ecosystem is very much, right? You actually cannot, do not worry which company. I mean, you are thinking that maybe limited company who actually offering you, right? This aviation industry actually is not like it's not like supplier, a few supplier, right? It's not like we can say chemical, right? Which is very limited, right? But aviation industry actually very huge ecosystem. So which area you want to cover? You want to cover in maintenance, you want to cover in manufacturer, you want to cover in operation, you want to cover in planning, right? So whatever your interest, please firstly put in your heart that what is in your interest. So actually it will help you in order to secure your jobs later on, right? So whoever want to be whoever was set to be academician, it's better to continue master or PhD lah, right? But for those who intends to go for the industry, it's better, it's just enough to get the degree level. At least you secure yourself with the executive position. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Munzir. So after hearing from both of our speaker, I can summarize that academic qualification is not the main factor in deciding whether you can get a high position in a company or not, but it's actually your passion and your expertise, just like I said just now, and both of them are mentioned on-job training or OJT. So as Mr. Zahir said, the students, the students from Uniki Almiat especially, need to be serious in their OJT, during their OJT, because there might be a chance for the company that they are currently OJT to take them as a permanent staff. And while Mr. Muzi said that choose the OJT company based on what you like and not based on friends or based on just itu je yang ada, itu je kita ambil yang tu je. Yeah. So this is before I continue to the next question, I would like to remind our audience that you need, if you want to join our lucky draws, you need to fill up the Google form, link in the chat box, and the due date and the closing time is at 3:50 p.m. So let's continue to our next question, and our next question is for Mr. Zahir. So questions to Mr. Zahir. How does catering company operate to satisfy passenger appetite from different continents?
Okay, just to share a bit about that. How does the in-flight catering operate for different continent? So basically, this is the what they call it at the planning stage. When you wanted to do catering services to any other airline in the world. So you need to have a plan. Of course, one good example, we go straight to the point. Okay, let's say flying from our own destination, let's say Kuala Lumpur to Indian continent, example, Madras, Belaguru, New Delhi, whatever it is. So these are basically the food that been planned for this particular sector, particular airline jargon again, Mr. Muzi, sector, airline flying sector. So I hope the airline students should understand. So basically what they do, they look at the customer profiling. They do a customer profiling, customer preference. So on that 100 passengers that flying on that particular aircraft to New Delhi, how many of them are originally from India? So basically what I wanted to tell here, so the plan is they look at the culture of that particular passenger. So any flight bound to Indian continent will basically will have some kind of Indian style, 80%, 70% Indian style food. whereas another 30 or 20% is a mix of Western or a mix of fusion there. So we plan like that. So that is the one on continent side. The other thing is based on the airline, like British Airways example. So when you do a catering for British Airways from Kuala Lumpur to London, of course you need to have a portion, high percentage of portion for the Western food. For the Western food, and at the same time, probably 70% Western, another 30% probably Malaysian or a fusion or mix of that. So you should plan according to the destination of that particular era. So they got two areas there. One is airline itself. They call the in-flight service department. In-flight service department, and they work together with the catering. Management, what they call the menu planning department. So they will sit down together, they will plan. So basically, it doesn't stop there. Okay, let's say British Airways, the airline, the procedure said they tell the caterer that we don't want any Western meal. We want Malaysian meal 100%. So we do that. So you tailor according to your customer want. So you not people used to say. You want to do what you like to do. That is very wrong in in-flight catering. You have to do what is your customer wanted to have. So you do that. So you plan based on that. So of course we have a different continent like Asia, Oceania, Australia, New Zealand. Sometimes we have our 1,000 to 2,000 menu recipe that plan for that. So Europe for Europe sector, Indian for the sector, Korean, Japanese. We have a plan for that. If you want to eat Japanese food on Malaysia Airlines, you fly to Tokyo or Narita. Of course, you will have 40%, 60%. Choice is Japanese style or Korean style, something like that. That's how we do food planning for the airline. Yep.
Oh, so basically, the airlines and the catering company will do some research and they will discuss on based on the ethnicity of the route itself. So it's specific to the route itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
just to add a bit, you don't be surprised. British Airways is asking for nasi lemak of one of their choice. Don't look down on nasi lemak. Nasi lemak now become international food already. And whether they want to tone down the spiciness of the sambal or whatever is different. Australia flight. I give you one classic example through my real experience. For Malaysia Airlines flying to Brisbane in Australia, so they serve two choices. One is Western style, one is Malaysian style. Western style, basically breakfast, they will eat what? Sausages, baked bean, omelette, something like that. And then another choice is nasi lemak. So the portion what we given is 30% nasi lemak, 70% Western. We got a complaint from the passenger, Western passenger, the Aussie. They complain, no, we don't want to eat Western food. We want nasi lemak. They call that. So they love that. So that's it. Don't put yourself at very low. What they call that? A shy that kind of thing is no. Nasi become. So you need to promote. So that is another thing that our place as international catering for the airline. We want to promote Malaysian food to the airline world. Actually, we are there at 60-70%. There. Thank you.
Oh, that's an interesting information whether on the passengers, international passengers like the nasi lemak and they even get mad if the capacity of nasi lemak is reduced. So then we move on to the next question. So this question is for Mr. Muze. So as we know, cargo operation is not as badly affected as passenger airlines during the pandemic just now, which means the demand is still ongoing. Even though it is a hard time for everyone else, especially airlines. But can you share one of the main factors that can contribute to the downfall of the cargo industry?
All right. So when discussing about the demand of air cargo, right? So is it actually when it lowering the factor which lowering the demand of air cargo, it of course is come from the customers, right? So when the people as lowering the demand on purchasing something or transporting something or delivering something by air, of course air cargo will be affected, right? But that's actually it's a wrong forecast lah. It's a wrong forecast, right? Because as I referring to the IATA, which has mentioned that because actually air cargo has never potential to drop, except for something which is bad lah, right? Which is maybe COVID coming again, or I don't know, just only right. So for example, you can say as Ayata mentioned, it was increment of 20% annually because of e-commerce, right? Because of e-commerce. So if you relate to your question, actually, for me, actually, it was very hard to air cargo to drop the services, right? But for the airline, actually, has possible, right? Has possibility to go to assist the operation, right? Since because passenger actually airline actually they got a lot of competition. In order to compete, actually they need to be unique. They actually unique. So that's why you can see, right? Many of the airlines actually cannot sustain for long, right? And some of the airlines actually how they want to sustain, actually they actually join with another alliance, right? Maybe by having alliance also can help to sustain the business, right? But if, as you mentioned earlier, right? How actually airline passenger want to sustain? So that's why it is basically based. It is based on the strategic management by the corporates, right? So that's why for the airline, they're not only covering the passenger, right? They're also covering regarding the small cargo, right? They're offering with you some meals, right? Some IFE, right? You can see in airline actually they have different business model, right? We got business, we got full service, we got low cost carrier. All both of them actually have their own target of revenue, right? But the operation also is different, right? And for the low cost carrier, actually they are focusing on the lowering the cost, but actually they are much more creating money if comparing with the full service, right? Because in full service, we actually pay for everything, right? But for the low cost, we just actually pay for the seat. So if you want more, of course you need to pay more, right? So basically, we can say that, right? That airline, low cost carrier actually has potential to get more money comparing to the company which is offering all in one, right? But we need to know, right? Full carrier actually they have already calculated, right? They have calculated. So in order to win-win situation, so then because of the operational standard, operational business model and so on, so they need to make sure that all of the passengers satisfied with the services. So that's why in order to sustain, they need to diversify, right? Diversity on the services, not only focusing on passenger, but also can also a bit put another services, right? In order to gain another money, right? Maybe that's why you can see they have baggage surcharge, right? If we over than certain weight. But for the low cost, you can see starting after 7 kilogram, so then they will charge, right? So that is an income for them, right? An income, extra income for them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I see. Based on your explanation, if I am a millionaire, maybe I want to venture to a new business model. So I might choose cargo operations because cargo is deemed impossible to bankrupt because of the expected 20% increase in revenue by e-commerce year by year by IATA. So that's very interesting. So I hope it answered the question for whoever who asked it. So next, I would like to ask a question to Mr. Zahir. So we know that in-flight catering is a very complex operational system. So can you explain a little bit further about the flight catering system? that involves the way the food or the meals are prepared and stored. The floor is yours, Mr. Zahir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, in catering, there are two things. One is what they call that cook freeze system, cook chill system, and the other one is a cook fresh. Okay, example, cook fresh is like you do in restaurant, in hotel, whatever it is. You cook, it's like a tom yum store. You cook, you serve, and then your business stop. So on the airline one, you cannot do that because of this food safety regulation set by IATA, set by a lot of regulatory body in the world in terms of in-flight catering. Okay, cook cheese system is a very complex because of why you need what they call that, a certain rule and procedure that you need to follow. You need to follow without fail. Without fail. If you overjump the process, whatever it is, you will fail the audit, whatever it is, and then your certification may be revoked or whatever. The worst part, you cannot supply to the airline. So this is your lifeline. If no food supply to the airline, you don't make money. You don't make money. So that's why if you don't have a customer, it's better not to have a catering company. You better close down. So catering company and airline, they come together. We have airline, we have catering company. You get more customer, you get more catering. That's it. That's very simple one. So you need to sustain that. Of course, to sustain that customer, that you need to follow all the procedures, procedures set by international standard. So airline catering company, it look like it's nobody company. Actually, catering things is nobody company, but actually, they are major player in the role. If you know that in fact, like catering, so they are different compared to that. So many people, including myself in earlier days, so we don't know where the food come from for the aircraft. We thought they will take from canteen or whatever. It is not. It is not. You cannot simply bring, even though a MACD or whatever on board aircraft. Those people don't allow that. I don't allow because of food safety and hygiene reasons. So they need to follow all that particular thing. Okay, go back to the cook chill system. Airline catering company all over the world, they use cook chill system. Unless they do event catering or whatever, is different thing. We talk about airline catering itself. So regulation, okay, the food that you consume 12 o'clock in the afternoon, probably been prepared yesterday. Been prepared yesterday at 12 o'clock yesterday. Why been prepared so early? Because they need to follow certain rule. So food to be prepared, they need to be chilled before going to aircraft, 4 hours in the chiller. Before that, they need another 4 hours. So to do some food arrangement on the trolley, whatever it is. Before that, it needs to be chilled another 4 hours. It's already 12 hours to chill after cooking. So before chilling that, you need to bring down from 60 degree to 5 to 8 degree, or it's good that 0 to 5 degree within 45 minutes before you start plating up for the aircraft. So before that, you need another 4 to 6 hours to cooking things, whatever it is. So before that, you need to cut chicken, to cut fish, to cut everything, another 4 hours. 4 times 5 is 20 hours already. So of course, including the purchasing or whatever, retrieval from the warehouse. So another probably 24 hours. So that procedure you need to follow. This is very complex. At the same time, during the process, you need to follow all the hazard requirement, hazard analytical control point. I'm sure that I share with my student what is meaning of HACCP. So this HACCP certification is actually a marketing tool for your company to get new customer. You don't have that certification, people don't come to you, especially 5-star, 6-star airline like British Airways, like Emirates, like Qatar. They don't come to you. You don't have HACCP because of what? HACCP and halal nowadays it become world certification. Yes, even though logistic also nowadays is halal logistic. Some Middle Eastern airline, do you what do you call that? Practice halal logistic to procure your raw material? You don't. They said sorry straight away. Arab to be the straightforward one. They don't want. They tell you straight away. No, you don't. So nowadays a lot of what they call that cargo agents, like Schenker, like Nippon, whether they are in the what they call that, in the mid of getting this halal logistic. I'm sure Cik Munzir and Puan Noraida is a very expert in this area. So they must have that kind of certification. Certification is very important in airline catering. ISO, HACCP, environmental. Some Europe airline, if you don't have what they call that environmental certification, they don't want to do business with you. So, like it or not, whether a highly cost they have to pay to consultant to get certification, you have to. So these are the complex processes that you follow. It's not just fried chicken and stuff. It's not that. You fry chicken, you need to record the timing, the temperature of the food, blah blah blah, until you deliver the food to the aircraft. So besides that one in operation side, the other thing, the worst part is managing human resource, managing your resources, equipment, especially people. You see, human being, they tend to taking MC, not coming to work. So they become a union member. So they get union member to fight the management. You as executive in the company, always facing a lot of things at the same time. Let's say you plan for 20 people to work midnight shift until morning. So after half an hour after midnight, you see only 10 people coming in. You short of another 10. What should you do? As a leader, as executive on duty, what should you do? So you need to have plan. A plan from raw material, cooking, processing it, sending to aircraft, human resource, whatever you need to have a very detailed plan. So what happened was, through my 25 years experience, whatever you plan, you put in the computer system, you put in your manual, it's not happening. Every day you have to manage risk. Every day you need to change your plan. So your basic plan is there. You need to do another plan. So it's very complicated and very exciting work. So don't worry, all the students, please apply any vacancy at airline catering. Don't worry, based on my application. Don't worry, it's what they call the adventure that you need to endeavor during your working life. So that experience you cannot buy on the market. You have to go through. Okay, another thing I wanted to add a little bit. If I may, I wanted to urge all the students. Please prepare your resume. Update your resume, because of why? Airline industry is coming back. Trust me. It doesn't matter it's cargo, doesn't matter it's catering, doesn't matter it's the Malaysia Airline itself, Malindo, Firefly, why they are coming out. They are starting already. They are starting at lower level nowadays. AICC start recruiting people to work already. So I'm sure that by next year, 2022, second half, vacancy will be open up a lot. So be prepared yourself. Be prepared yourself to taking the opportunity. This is the time. This is time. All the fish from the ocean is coming to you. So grab it. So please put yourself at ready stage. Because keep look at the the website or whatever it is, or airline journal, whatever it is on the vacation. They are coming up. So so I hope you do that, all the students. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to Mr. Zahir. Even though the process of airline catering is so tedious, but it's to ensure the safety of the food and the quality of the food. And I would like to thank Mr. Zahir for the reminder to update our resume, because the aviation industry in general are coming back to life again. So I have an open question for both of you. So what is the sweetest experience throughout your service that can be shared? So shall we start with Mr. Munzi?
All right. Actually, when I'm in Mascargo, actually, the sweetest thing is, and which is maybe is not so sweet lah. It is very shocked with the situation, right? When I'm starting at when I'm actually responsible to take care the warehouse, right? But by the time, maybe the first time I'm going to the warehouse to make sure that the safety of the safety procedures is adapted by the officers, right? So which I'm looking at the warehouse, that's actually a corpse, right? Maksudnya the corpse actually in the box, right? But that time actually I'm not very shocked that time. That's a white box at the floor, which is that has been mentioned by my officer, right? Which is dimension. Hey, Mose, do you know that thing? I thought that is something which is relating with the goods or product, right? But he mentioned this actually the cops from Indonesia, right? Huh? Why why the cop actually in warehouse?
Okay.
Actually, I'm very shocked that time. Why they actually not very good managing that cop actually? Because that cop actually is Muslim cops, right? So that's we need to respect them. But because of that way, they want to take the cops to the next flight, so that they actually in hurry, right? So the cop actually still managerial, right? But actually in it everywhere. So I think is it that is it happen in warehouse, right? Supposedly that actually has a special area, right, for maybe the cops, because we actually respect the cops, right? And another thing regarding to the experience is I can see when relating with the safety and security of the staff, when actually most of the staff working in warehouse actually is actually foreigner, right? Mostly from Bangladesh and Pakistan, right? They actually work very hard until 14 hours a day, sometimes because they need to cover some other people who short of staff and so on. They sometimes they are resting, they are sleeping below the machine, right? Because we actually have been remind them about safety, right? But some of them actually ignore, right? Sometimes some of them did not wearing the reflective jacket, they're not wearing the safety boots, right? Because in the warehouse actually it is very dangerous. Even though at above the ceiling they got a lot of spotlight, but there was still very dark for me, right? So that's why then we need for reflective jacket in order to make sure that when the the tractor come, right, or whatever coming, they actually can see you, right? So sometimes I'm shocked alone lah, suka seorang lah kan with the situation, because it is something we always mention then about the danger in the warehouse, right? But for them they are still ignore, what don't know, right? So that's in something actually kelakar lah, very funny lah for me, right? So some of experience I can see from the export and import, which is I can see some luxurious item, right? Sometimes in Mascargo actually coming money, right? Actually Malaysia printing their money not in Malaysia, they're printing the money somewhere in Finland, is not mistaken. So every week or every month they actually come one aircraft to Mascargo. That time the aircraft is yellow, is strip, blue strip. So then that staff mentioned me, this is aircraft which is bringing every ringgit Malaysia printed at their country, right? So that is something new which is I'm get when I'm at Mascargo that time. So that is something which is very
interesting,
sweet, and also something new knowledge experience for me lah when at Mascargo. Okay.
All right. So what about you, Mr. Zahir? Any sweet experience?
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will talk about sweet experience during working time, especially in the airline industry. I got 1,000 or sweet memory actually, sweet memory in 25 years, a lot. So it's very interesting. One thing you get to what they call that, to travel the world. So people used to say, if you want to see the world, join the Navy. But for me, if you want to see the world, join the airline. Join the airline. Join the airline. When you are holding executive position or graded higher position, you tend to be sent away, tour of duty, sending to other foreign country to get the job done. So my experience, I travel basically all over, like in Europe, in Asia, in Korea, in Australia, travel a lot. That is another sweet thing. So the best part is the last before I leave the company, I manage when I work with the customer service, customer service department there, become what they call that, consultant to get new customer for the catering company. So I was assigned by my boss to make sure that we will secure the British Airways contract. So the British Airways have been stopped flying Kuala Lumpur, I think more than 15 years, more than 15 years. So they are recently, I think somewhere 2-3 years back, they come back to Kuala Lumpur. So we are competing with another airline catering company, which is called that Kuala Lumpur Airport Service. Kuala Lumpur Airport Service. They got two catering company in Kuala Lumpur. One is Bramsat, one is KLAS, KLAS, Kuala Lumpur Airport Service. So we are competing. We are competing. So you have to use your competency as a project manager. So you've been what they call that, asked to make sure that you get this contract. You get this contract. So I was at a position of senior executive at that particular time. So we do a communication. Okay, the project started 6 months before the airline coming into your station. So we start communicating. So you need to have that skill of communication through email, through phone call, through other form of communication media. You need to have that skill. So I form a team in Kuala Lumpur. There are a few of them consistent of a person from finance, a pricing department, and some operation. So we discuss as well as a food safety people. So this is the best thing before I retire. So we do negotiation, whatever it is, and then we manage to convince. You know where your customers start being convincing. They start being convinced at that particular point, based on your experience or how you do things. So we do a lot of communication here and there, blah blah blah, and then look at the what they call that, how we can assist them in terms of their cargo, their cargo operation, and kind of thing. Because they got nobody here, they got no contact. One poor thing, because we are not really looking at the getting the customer. We just do our job day in, day out. So most of the people, sorry I have to say that, because when I ask British Airways rep, anybody from this area contacting you, they said nobody. I want you to help. By right, cargo thing is not my thing actually. It's not my thing. So we managed to get some colleague from cargo, ask them to get contact with British Airways, whatever it is. So that is one thing. Go back to the catering one. We do a food sampling those time. We get a chef to do a nice food sampling. We call the representative of British Airways, the person who make decision whether I want to get a contract or not. Come to Kuala Lumpur, we take care of them, really take care of them. Make sure they stay in a good hotel, they get Malaysian food, whatever it is. So that operational one is been done at one part. So one day, almost a month after that, what they call that, discussion, I received a call from London saying that they are inviting us to London to finalize the contract, the pricing or whatnot. So I went there with my pricing manager, and then at the same time also my CEO wanted to join as well. So I said, okay, we go three of us went to London, and we managed to secure and agree on the price that we wanted to have per day flight, per week flight, per month flight, and then some discount that you can give at the end of the yearly billing, whatever it is. So we managed to get our contract. So they are offering us 2 years contract, to do for British Airways. At that particular point, I just trying my luck, saying that, okay, why we talk about 2 years contract? Why don't we go 3+2? 3+2, 5 years contract, which never been done for any airline contract, 5 years contract. So and then the moment stopped for a while when I asked 3+2. So there is a reason. I told them why 3+2. I give them point A, point B, point C, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, British Airways agree to get 5 years contract. Surprisingly. We are very speechless, especially my CEO. So we got that 5 years contract. We come back happily. Yeah, before we come back, when my CEO was very excited, they tell the chairman saying that we secure 5 years contract. Everybody is jumping, joyfully jumping all over that. That is the most sweetest thing. Yeah. In my own personal experience during my working, besides traveling all over the world. So that is my sweetest thing. Thank you.
So both of our speaker has their very own bittersweet experience, especially Mr. Munzir when he saw the cops in the warehouse. But I guess that's one of the ups and downs, one of the perks of working in the industry. And I'm sure even though we are working anywhere in the world, we will have that sweet memory and the bitterest memories. So the clock shows it's already 4:03. So the session is actually ended at 4. But before we ended the session, we would like to ask you, from both of you, about word of advice, some words of advice if we want to venture to cargo or the airline catering industry. So shall we start with Mr. Munzir?
All right, thank you so much. Actually, I encourage my student actually to join aviation industry, not specific for cargo, not specific for catering, right? Because as I mentioned earlier, ecosystem of aviation industry is so big, right? It is depend on your interest, right? It is depend on your interest. Some of them are thinking about the perk. I mean, money, right? Thinking about the income and so on. Because when I'm looking at my friend who actually working at my MHB right now, actually they got some bonus, right? So even though not so much, actually 3 months or 6 months, it is actually is different lah, made different lah. So but if you want to travel, you can join the airline. If you would like to, even though you would like to managing the cargo or some travel, also you can join the cargo, right? But the different airline and cargo, airline actually very, I mean, airline is, I think it is very difficult, specific comparing to the cargo, because cargo actually is not, they have no feeling, right? So it's better to manage comparing to the airline. But for the airline, actually you get another experience because of the human being demands, right? And then you may join for the MRO, you may join the fuel supplier if you want, right? You got logistic, you got warehouse, air freight, right? So ground handling. So that's, I just only say that, I'm not saying that specific lah, right? So you have a lot of choices in aviation industry. Even though you can join an educator at the end, right? Where you got some experience, right? You can join an educator, but you need to know lah, for being an educator, at least you need to have a master for minimum, right? The minimum qualification. That if you want to increase for better position, so then you need to have a PhD, right? So for me, if you join education, firstly get some experience from the industry. So then you can see some demand lah. I can say that you can make some demand lah regarding to your perk and so on, right? So just continue what you're having right now, right? Join the aviation first, but don't be specific. Goes to your interest. What is your industry you are interested for? Right, that is the key point. So then when you're interested, inshallah lah, right, there will be something new and something good to you, right? Okay.
So what I can say from what Mr. Munzir's words, don't be choosy, don't be specific if you want to go to. Just go try your luck, and inshallah there will be a rezeki for you in waiting in the industry or even outside the industry. So what about you, Mr. Zahir? Any words of encouragement?
Okay, thank you. Okay, what I can say, I will agree, Mr. Munzir. I would agree very much, Mr. Munzir. But nowadays, it's quite unfortunate because of why the student about to graduate semester 5, semester 6, they are very scared because of why. One first thing, then they ask OGT here and there in this company, they cannot get a position. This is because of the pandemic issue. The pandemic issue. Don't be scared. Keep yourself positive. Keep yourself positive. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming up. It's coming up. Airline industry is coming up. So okay, when you talk about the perk, people look for salary. So they want to start with high salary, 3,500, 4,000. Nowadays, corporate, they are very careful, because of why they know already what happened. They need time to recover from pandemic, from MCO. They need time. So don't be too choosy. Start off with 1,006, 1,000 is fine. Start with 2,000. So don't worry. If you work with the airline company, you can get 10,000 pay. You can get 15,000 pay. I can say it to you through the experience. So you can get that kind of money. You can get that kind of money. So don't worry. Future, the only thing you need to keep yourself positive. Keep yourself positive. Do things with your heart. Do things with your heart. When you work with your heart. When you do OJT, do with your heart. So people is looking at you. So like Mr. Muzi was saying, if you know somebody in the company or in your department, your future is there. It's not that and now you rub your boss backside. It's not that. This is normal human. It's happened anywhere in Google, in Yahoo company, so in Microsoft. It's like that. When your boss like you, your future is there. So if you want to rub your boss, rub it correctly. Rub it correctly. Don't kill other people. So do it correctly. That's normal. That's normal. Human need to compete in order for you to excel. So don't worry, pandemic is going off. Airline industry is coming up. So make sure yourself, every semester, make sure you pass your subject. When lecturer asks assignment, please do it. Pass it on time. Don't give excuse. So because we experienced this during my younger time. You tell that my USB is not working, my computer crashed. That one. You put away. So you have you can have to find a mean. You have to find mean to achieve that. So you are in the correct path. So if you love airline industry, I'm sure that you love because when you choose these courses, because you already put your mind to work with the airline. I'm telling you, very interesting when you work with the airline industry and it affiliate business like cargo agent, like catering, that kind of. It's very interesting. So I hope that update your resume, be positive, and enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you to both of our speaker, Mr. Zahir and Mr. Munzir, for the words of encouragement just now. So I believe that our media team has prepared a video for us to watch. So before we go to the video sharing session, I, on the behalf of Aviation Exhibition Committee, I would like to thank both of our speakers, Mr. Zahir and Mr. Munzir, for your willingness to become a speaker at Aviation Exhibition 2021. So I am honored to be the one who moderated the session for this evening. So our technical team is ready, so let us watch the video right now. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to all of you. My name is Muhammad Aiman Zikri bin Muhammad Zakir, your moderator for Aviation Exhibition 2021. Aviation Exhibition is organized by Aerospace Information Center Committee under UniKL MIAT Library and in collaboration with Alumni Unit and Counselling Unit from UniKL MIAT itself. So today, we have Encik Ahmad Faiz bin Muhammad.
Let me share with you about the terminal, terminal itself, terminal operation itself. So kami di terminal operation, we are the unit that responsible to manage all the facilities. Semua facilities yang ada dalam airport ni is under our responsibility, termasuk juga cleanliness of the terminal. Maknanya apa yang ada bawah dalam building, bawah bumbung ni, semua kami kena manage lah. Except the people mover, lift, escalator, everything. That one is under engineering lah. Dari segi toilet, kebersihan toilet, dari segi kerusi, cleanliness of the check-in counters, kami punya responsibility lah. We have a team, we have a 4 team. Every day dia akan kerja hari ini dia kerja siang, dia kerja in shift lah. So dia kerja 12 hour shift, today dia kerja siang and the next day dia akan kerja malam lah. So dalam satu shift, kita ada seorang duty executive and kita ada duty officer dan juga pembantu takbir operasi lah. So every shift will be lead by a duty executive. So 12 hours shift will be lead by duty executive to oversee all the facilities inside the airport. So they have to ensure everything is in good condition, everything is clean lah. Basically requirement dia, the first thing you have to be patient with your work lah. You have to be patient with your work and then you able to deliver apa yang your superior minta. So that's the two thing. Because when you're working in operation kat airport ni, you have to think very quick, act very fast because you have to deliver within the time frame. And so maknanya every day there is something new that you have to do lah to ensure the airport operation is smooth. So you have to very encourage and you are willing to do the decision. So and you are you are bertanggungjawab di atas decision yang you akan buat lah. I take example masa saya kerja dekat Doha. So you go there alone. You pergi sana seorang diri, you apply sendiri. You interview dekat sini and then you fly, they fly you there for the second interview. So everything you do alone, you have to face alone lah. So they receive you kerja. So they give you probation for 6 months. But within 3 months you have to deliver. So the most yang memorable yang saya belajar, because dekat sana we work dengan expat, which is ada daripada Europe, ada daripada Philippines, Indian, daripada US pun ada. So what they expect, you datang sana, you learn by yourself. Apa you nak, you cari sendiri. Apa you nak tahu itu, you pergi cari sendiri. So within 3 months, so I talk to myself, I must got this position. I kena habiskan 3 bulan ni untuk completekan saya punya probation instead pada 6 bulan. So by 3 bulan tu, I dah boleh kerja sendiri. Yang most memorable tu, after 6 months, habis je probation, I got a very big acknowledgement from my boss lah. From my boss, because what he said, you are very fast learner. I make you as a trainer. You train orang lain pula. So you punya klik yang lain tu agak iri hati lah because you are newcomer. So within 6 months, boss dah jadikan you as a trainer lah. So that you get the boss punya buy-in, you get the boss punya confidence about you. So that the most memorable lah. Even by the time I want to left, he also encourage me to stay and we have another position that we can offer to you. Ada terlampau banyak perbezaan. So after the apa kita punya kerajaan lah, our government declare we are in the pandemic, we are pandemic, global punya pandemic. So we shut down our border and we shut down our border. Everyone that arrive at KLIA must go through a stringent punya procedure lah. Kena buat health screening, kena buat swab test apa semua. Itu yang memang paling mencabar lah because kita sebagai di pihak terminal, we are liaise with the government agencies. We have to provide all the facilities, ad hoc punya facilities pun kami kena providekan. So memang terlampau banyak perubahan. Kalau you pernah travel within this pandemic, bila you arrive, so many procedure you have to follow. So setiap arahan tu kami akan terima hari ini and the procedure must be implement by tomorrow. So by hook or by crook, kita nak kena readykan that facilities within that time frame. Even during pandemic pun saya paksa datang malam untuk set up the facilities, untuk set up the swabbing area, untuk set up the queue area, untuk set up the KKM punya requirement semualah. So that memang satu perubahan yang besar lah dalam kita punya operation. And then when the first government allow the bubble travel Langkawi tu, so we also responsible to make a swabbing area untuk departure punya passenger. So hari ni kami dapat arahan benda tu nak kena ready esok. So petang tu juga kami siapkan sampai ke malam. So benda yang agak mencabar lah. Kalau dulu kita akan dapat earlier. So we have the timeline to prepare everything, to prepare the facilities apa semua, to prepare the manpower. So during this pandemic, the instruction will come on that day and the application will be the next day. So you have to fulfill all the requirement.
During the endemic, even I think sebelum pandemic berlaku pun, when working dalam airport ni, kita kena think fast and act fast lah sebenarnya.
Betul. And then you kena, because airport is a public area, so you tak boleh nak halang sesiapa masuk apa semua. So bila dia masuk, you must ensure dia orang ni follow the SOP. And then how you want to tell them to follow the SOP, like 1 meter beratur, and the benches you must left the center seat punya occupied. So benda tu benda yang kami kena sediakan lah masa pandemik hari tu, termasuk juga dengan sanitizer kami kena deploykan dekat seluruh terminal.
Mencabar jugalah sebenarnya kalau nak menguruskan airport dalam masa pandemik dan endemik ni jugalah sebenarnya.
Yep.
Saya dengar pun
That's where come the teamwork lah.
Teamwork makes the dream works, kata orang.
Betul. Kalau saya nak tunjuk area sekeliling, basically our workplace is a terminal itself.
Inside the terminal itself.
Terminal itself, because kami saya punya team, kita tak ada workstation. Kami kena meronda dalam bangunan terminal ni. 24 jam kami kena meronda apa semua. Cuma kami datang ke office untuk buat report saja. Kalau macam saya ada office lah, which is my office. For me, that for me lah, because saya office hour kan, so I have my own office. Kalau saya punya, even kalau saya tak ada meeting apa, I will go to the terminal to make a rounding. So kalau nak tengok saya punya workplace tu, kalau you datang airport, that's our workplace lah. Once you enter pintu tu, sampai you naik kapal, that's our workplace.
Kiranya macam airport tu sendiri adalah workplace Encik Faiz. So macam kiranya work scope ni memang your supervision area ni memang sangat besar lah. Lagi-lagi
betul.
KLIA lah, our main airport.
Okay, macam dekat airport lah. Okay, kita ada ni lah, pilot, engineering apa semua. Kita ada juga PAX handling, di mana you in charge dari segi check-in counter, you in charge dari segi PAX load apa semua, itu pun ada. Kerja dengan airlines, macam tu lah. Sebagai kerja dengan airlines, macam airline punya staff lah, ground handling kat sini. So mana you manage the passenger. MHB is a main company. So dalam bawah MHB kita ada subsidiaries. Untuk KLIA, subsidiaries is Malaysia Airport Sepang. So Malaysia Airport Sepang ni lah yang handle KLIA dan KLIA 2. Untuk airport selain pada KLIA dengan KLIA 2, dia dihandle oleh Malaysia Airport Sendirian Berhad. Kami juga ada, kalau tengok ladang-ladang sawit keliling airport ni, itu under Malaysia Airport Agriculture dengan Horticulture, pertanian. Sama-sama juga subsidiaries Malaysia Airport, sama-sama hotel. Itu pun ada subsidiaries Malaysia Airport. MAHB is the headquarters, main company lah. So bawah dia memang banyak subsidiaries. Senai dengan Kertih is bukan under Malaysia Airport. That one is under private entity lah. So the rest airport is under Malaysia Airport. Termasuk juga dekat Sabah Sarawak, dekat Stol. Kita di MIAT, kita diajar, masa saya dulu, we are being exposed how to be a licensed engineer. That's bila you masuk MIAT dia, okay, so you punya target nak jadi licensed engineer. Basically untuk jadi licensed engineer ni, kita dengar nampak macam senang kan. Tapi basically it's very hard lah. And then dia punya responsibility tu memang tinggi. Bagi saya, bila you masuk MIAT, you learn about aviation. Actually aviation ni besar tau. Aviation ni bila you keluar, macam bila saya keluar, and then saya join airport, baru saya tahu actually aviation is very big. It's not just repair kapal, itu saja, bukan. So it's a big. So don't limit yourself. Tak kira lah you belajar apa pun, you belajar aviation ke, you belajar nurse ke, even kat sini pun kita ada yang belajar nursing. Tapi dia kerja airport operation. So don't limit yourself. Cuma apa yang kamu boleh buat is, apa yang saya punya saranan lah. You try your best. Dan percaya kepada diri kamu. And the most important, jangan takut untuk buat kesilapan. Because daripada kesilapan itulah kita belajar. Sama juga, kalau you jangan takut you buat decision. Jangan takut untuk buat decision. Tapi sebelum you buat decision, you must think what happen if you take A, what happen after A. So if you take B, what happen after B. It's not that simply you make a decision macam tu. Kan? Tapi mungkin pandangan orang lain berbeza. Tapi sebelum kita buat keputusan tu, kita kena juga fikir consequences dia lah. What are the impact. So yang penting percaya kepada diri lah. And so kita sebagai orang Islam, macam saya cakap tadi, ikhlas dan jaga hubungan kita dengan Tuhan kita lah.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Today we have a tour around Galaxy Aerospace for us to know more about career opportunity or job opportunity in this aviation industry.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, saya Aiman. Saya merupakan moderator dan saya akan interview Encik Fazli Adam. So, sebelum kita melanjutkan lagi kita punya sesi interview berkenaan GHOCS Encik Fazli Adam dan apa yang berada di sekeliling Galaxy Aerospace ni, saya rasa is proper lah untuk saya minta Encik Fazli perkenalkan diri sedikit berkenaan Encik Fazli.
Saya Muhammad Fazli bin Adam. Saya bekerja di Galaxy sebagai Store and GHC Supervisor. Work scope saya ialah saya memonitor tools dan GHC, apa-apa saja tools dan GHC yang diperlukan daripada MRO. Saya juga menguruskan bahagian pembelian, calibration dan menjaga serviceability untuk semua tools dan GHC lah. Requirement dia, saya sendiri pun tak berapa. Saya sebenarnya daripada planning, tapi saya sendiri pun dalam learning process lagi. Saya baru je join Galaxy ni dalam past 7 bulan lah. So tugas saya dibantu oleh 3 orang pembantu yang dah lama lah, lebih lama daripada saya dekat sini. So tanggungjawab kami ialah untuk memastikan tool semua dalam keadaan baik, serviceable dan safe untuk digunakan pada aircraft lah. Kita pastikan tools is calibrated, dibeli daripada proper approved vendor. So itu untuk kita bekerjasama dengan MRO untuk capai kita punya matlamat untuk riliskan kapal on time.
Okay, so seperti mana yang Encik Fazli cakap tadi, Encik Fazli sudah bekerja di Galaxy Aerospace selama 7 bulan. Okey, boleh saya tahu sepanjang 7 bulan ataupun sepanjang pengalaman Encik Fazli bekerja lah, apa pengalaman yang Encik Fazli rasa sangat berharga yang memberi impak yang dalam hidup Encik Fazli?
Okay, sebagai tools dan GHC supervisor ni kan, okay, kita punya pengalaman bila kita berjaya support MRO untuk maintenance dan bila kita tengok kapal kita achieve kita punya target, kapal keluar on time tanpa sebarang masalah untuk tools dan GHC, pada saya itu satu pengalaman yang baik lah. Kita tengok kapal tu fly selepas buat maintenance kan, hasil daripada kita punya support juga. So pada saya itu satu pengalaman yang baik lah.
Okey, so memandangkan kita berada di Galaxy Aerospace sendiri dan saya faham ini adalah tempat kerja Encik Fazli sendirilah. So kalau tak keberatan, boleh tak Encik Fazli tunjukkan macam serba sedikit berkenaan
Okey, ini kita tool store di Miat ni merupakan pusat kepada beberapa base lah yang kita ada dalam Galaxy Aerospace ni. Contohnya macam PGU, Miat sendiri, APMM, Lumot, Betam. So kita punya base ni semua ini merupakan pusat untuk apa saja tools yang dia orang perlukan, dia akan demand daripada sini. So kita satu-satunya tempat yang kontrol untuk semua base.
Okey. So saya rasa pun kita pun dah berborak banyak. So sebelum saya pun rasa macam nak menamatkan interview ni, tapi sebelum itu saya nak minta Encik Fazli kalau ada sepatah dua kata untuk student MIAT yang rasanya berminat untuk pergi ke masuk ke dalam bidang Encik Fazli sendiri.
Okey, student MIAT, kepada student MIAT semua, kebanyakannya saya pasti semua lebih kepada aviation, lebih kepada kapal. Tapi untuk pengetahuan semua, segala operation yang kat luar tu, yang diorang buat dekat luar by MRO tu, disupport oleh tools dengan GHC juga. So kita pun bahagian yang penting untuk dalam satu organisation. So boleh cubalah untuk pengalaman sebelum pergi ke kapal, cari pengalaman dulu, join GSE, join tools tu, bagi diri tu familiar dengan barang-barang ni semua sebelum pergi ke kapal.
Bersama saya adalah Cik Wani. Cik Wani ni dia akan tolong kita tunjukkan apa yang sebenarnya ada dalam tool store Galaxy Aerospace. Jadi sebelum saya beri lanjutlah, boleh tak terangkan sedikit berkenaan Cik Wani dan position Cik Wani?
Okay, hai. Saya adalah tool store keeper. So saya yang akan menjaga store ni lah. So saya akan monitor setiap kali tool tu keluar masuk. And saya lah yang jaga semua barang-barang ni, dia rosak ke apa, memang saya lah. Okay, so saya explain kat sini, kita bahagikan barang tu ikut dia punya kategori lah. So kita ada calibrated tool. Okay, belah sini kita punya calibrated tool. And then yang belah kanan ni kita punya special tool. Okay, and belah sana tool bomber. So maksudnya bomber punya tapi kita jagalah, so hak kerajaan lah. Okay, belah sana. Okay, macam calibrated tool ni, dia calibrated ni ada tool yang dia ada macam measurement. Dia ada interval dia, so macam setiap setahun sekali kita akan hantar untuk calibrate lah. So dia punya bacaan tu akan lagi
accurate lah.
Accurate. So macam ni lah. Ni macam contoh kita ada rod range. Semua ni dia kita kena hantar calibrate. Kalau dia dah due tu, memang kita dah tak boleh pakai lah.
Okey, saya ada soalan. Kenapa tools ni, calibrated tools tak boleh kita calibrate sendiri? Memang kena hantar juga kat luar?
Sebab kita tak ada dia punya...
Kita tak approve dan kita tak ada dia punya equipment untuk
calibrate lah.
Kita tak boleh hantar suka-suka dekat mana-mana ni. Tempat yang kita hantar calibrator ni must be approved by our QA. Kita tak boleh, kita tak ada capability untuk buat calibration in progress. In future kita memang tengah plan untuk buat calibration workshop sendiri sekarang. So in future kita boleh calibrate sendiri lah.
I see. So this is a long term planning untuk Galaxy Aerospace lah.
Sementara waktu ni kita tak ada workshop sendiri. So kita kena hantar ke vendor. Pusat yang boleh buat calibration dan di approve by our QA.
Alright, okay.
Baiklah, bersama dengan saya Safety Executive Puan Atikah dan Cik Melissa. So hari ini kita akan mengenali lebih dalam lagi apa itu Safety Executive ataupun Safety Officer. Kita bermulalah dengan Puan Atikah. Boleh kenalkan sedikit tentang diri Puan Atikah.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Wan Nur Atikah. Orang kenal kat sini Atikah lah. So saya dengan aviation ni daripada 2013. So training dekat MATC, Malaysia Airlines Engineering Training Center. So lepas tu pass out and masuk MAS sebagai junior technician. And then lepas tu pergi kepada Malindo. And sekarang masuk Galaxy lah sebagai safety executive. Okay, so background dalam safety ni daripada tahun 2019. So tak lama, tapi sebenarnya dalam aviation ni nice lah for you untuk grow sebenarnya.
Baik Puan Atikah, so Puan Atikah kiranya dah nak dekat 10 tahun lah dekat dalam bidang aviation. Tapi untuk specifically dalam bidang safety masih lagi banyak lagi mempelajari, betul tak? Okey, so kita kenal jugalah dengan Cik Melissa kita.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat tengah hari. Nama saya Melissa Hazel, saya berasal daripada Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. So saya ada professional certificate in basic aircraft maintenance engineering daripada Mata Kuantan. So saya bermula sebagai, saya dah habis dekat Mata. Saya start sebagai on job trainee dekat layang-layang aerospace Kota Kinabalu. So dari 2016 ke 2020 saya di layang-layang, last position saya sebagai safety manager. So saya baru masuk Galaxy baru seminggu lebih sebagai safety executive. Tapi saya dah start safety specifically dari 2018. So background saya mostly on OSHA. Tapi by 2018 dan 19 saya dah start ke SMS lah. So saya fokus on aircraft.
Okey, baik. Tapi sebelum tu boleh tak Ifah nak tanya, apa beza OSHA dengan SMS?
Okey, sebenarnya yang ni yang banyak orang keliru. So untuk SMS, kita memang fokus mostly on aircraft itself. So kalau yang berkaitan dengan personnel ataupun yang tak berkaitan dengan aircraft, yang itu fall under OSHA.
Baik, faham kiranya SMS directly kapal, OSHA personnel itu sendirilah punya safety. Okey, moving on. Sebagai safety executive, boleh tak Ifah nak tahu lebih lanjut job scope sebagai safety executive lah, especially dekat Galaxy Aerospace ni?
Okey. Dekat Galaxy Aerospace ni, saya masuk tahun lepas bulan 12. So saya beri tugas untuk membuat hazard identification risk management high RAM. So benda tu as you know lah, kita bekerja dalam bidang aviation ni, kita banyak hazard risk yang you all kena tahu, and saya dekat sini kena buat benda tu. Maksudnya kita kena identify hazard, kita kena tengok dia punya risk, apa dia punya risk, and kita kena buat risk management tu, kena tengok apa kita nak counter measure lah maksudnya kan. Apa yang kita boleh betulkan risk tu. Kalau yang berisiko tinggi, kita nak kurangkan risk tu macam mana. So yang tu side safety lah, side SMS maksudnya. For aircraft lah. Tapi benda tu semua lebih kepada aircraft punya ni lah, technically kan. Kalau kepada personnel tu, dia jatuh under macam yang Melissa cakap tadi lah.
Okey, fahamlah. Dekat situ safety first. Safety first. So safety officer ataupun safety executive memainkan peranan paling besar lah sebelum untuk teknikal ataupun LAE buat kerja diorang, betul tak? So untuk Cik Melissa, job scope Cik Melissa macam mana pula?
Okey, job scope saya mostly macam yang Puan Atika sebut. Tapi mungkin sebab saya ada sedikit pengalaman dalam bidang OSHA. So saya sebenarnya menyeluruh lah. Tapi memang lebih kepada SMS. So apa-apa benda yang kita kena buat dalam technical ataupun management, apa-apa perubahan semua kena lalu safety dulu. So untuk nak cakap dari technical, eloklah untuk ada pengalaman dalam SMS ni sebab selalunya orang keliru.
Betul. Faham. So dekat situ kita kena lebih dalam lagi lah mengetahui SMS tu sendiri. Sebagai kita tahu safety first, especially dalam aviation itself kan. So untuk last soalan daripada Ifah lah kan, any advice ataupun point of view dari Puan Atika dengan Cik Melissa, stigma masyarakat dekat luar sana ataupun student aviation itu sendiri tentang bekerja dalam aviation hanya pilot, hanya engineer. So apa pendapat and advice dari Puan Atika lah?
Okey, kalau macam saya, banyaklah saya boleh bagi tahu sebab saya pun background technical. Daripada technical lepas tu masuk jadi admin officer, masuk jadi store officer. So macam sebenarnya dalam aviation ni, dia bukan biasa kalau kita dengar awak aviation kalau contoh dulu-dululah saya MAS stewardess. Oh sorry lah, dalam dengan tak cukup incinya kan. So macam bila macam tu, orang punya pandangan tu kita nampak kecil, sedangkan aviation ni sebenarnya besar. So kalau you masuk dalam bidang aviation, kalau you betul-betul ni lah kan, orang kata minat, macam-macam boleh try. So macam saya try, semua saya try lah. Store officer semua, betul, tiba-tiba masuk safety, macam mana boleh masuk safety. Tapi bila minat tu kan, so macam nak tak nak kita kena belajar and buka minda lah. Yang aviation ni bukan sekadar nak jadi pilot ke stewardess saja kan. So technical tu pun dah banyak dah. Dia ada mechanical punya side, dia ada avionic punya side, lepas tu dia ada radio, dia ada macam-macam lah sebenarnya. Lepas tu jenis kapal tu pula macam mana, you ada type kapal tu pula. So bila benda tu you rasa interesting lah sebenarnya. So for me, let's join aviation lah.
Okey, terima kasih Pak Atika. So macam mana pula dari Cik Melissa?
Okey, bagi saya background saya pun sebenarnya technical macam Puan Atika, tapi saya dari seorang QA inspector, saya jadi engineering controller, and then saya masuk jadi safety executive dan last sebagai safety manager. So saya memang sokonglah kalau orang-orang nak masuk aviation, jangan fikir sangat yang benda ni teknikal sahaja. So kalau masuk management sebenarnya lagi menarik sebab dia sangat luas.
Betul. Okey, so dekat situ Ifa boleh rumuskanlah selain passion, minat kita dalam aviation, kita kena lagi discover more untuk kita tahu apa kita akan bekerja selepas tu, apa yang kita punya roles nanti dekat dalam aviation. So especially dalam safety, macam Puan Atika dengan Cik Melissa cakap, safety dalam aviation safety first. And banyak lagi student dekat luar sana ataupun orang luar sana kena lebih tahu safety SMS ataupun OSHA yang berkaitan dengan aviation. So Ifa harap Cik Melissa dengan Puan Atika akan lebih maju jaya lah dalam career especially in aviation, and kita jumpa lagi lah. Terima kasih atas luangkan masa, insyaAllah. Ya, itu sebuah sedikit dokumentari ataupun footage yang kami sempat buat interview sebelum ini.
Ya, betul. So saya nak mengucapkan ribuan, jutaan terima kasihlah kepada kita punya speaker pada hari ini, iaitu Encik Muzir dan Encik Zahir. Jadi sebelum Encik Muzir dengan Encik Zahir keluar daripada tim sini, jadi kami ingin menjemputlah kedua-dua speaker kami untuk bergambar. So siapa-siapa yang ada dalam tim dan rasa macam nak masuk bergambar sekali, silalah buka kamera, and we will wait for our technical teams untuk memberikan isyarat untuk mengambil gambar. Okay. Okay, so dalam 40 macam tu kita akan ambil gambar, tapi kita nak tunggu orang buka kamera sekejap.
With us also our advisor, Aerospace Information Center.
Kak Balkis, Kak Siti Balkis. Nampak lawa di situ dengan bibir merah dia. Ya Allah, saya rasa macam dia make up semata-mata untuk buka kamera dengan kita. Untuk bersama-sama dengan kita. Lighting. Tapi saya rasa kalau lighting lawa, dia tak merah macam tu Kak Balkis. Okay, so memandangkan hampir kesemuanya dah buka kamera. So our technical team ready? Okay, so Ifa, would you do the honor untuk kira countdown?
Okay. So, 3, ready? Technical team?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, another one, candid one. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, with that, thank you so much to our awesome speakers, Mr. Muzir and Mr. Zahir. Sorry, Mr. Azhar. Sorry, Mr. Zahir. I'm very sorry. So I hope to see you guys in physically, might be in Subang or Sepang, and take care and stay safe. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muzir and Mr. Zahir, for your very best. I think the best speaker session, sharing session that I have. Okay, so bye. So for the students, don't leave the stream yet, because we are having a lucky draw session after this. So don't leave yet. If you want to win something exciting.
Okay, so we can go. We can go right now. Okay, thank you very much for having me for the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suzahir.
Bye.
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 Okay, Aiman.
Yes.
What we
Oh.
have after this.
So this is the highlight. Okay lah, ni macam apa, kiranya highlight lah kita, the highlight of our show, of our today's session, which is apa, orang kata cabutan bertuah kerana bahasa Melayu.
Lucky draw.
So kalau sesiapa yang baru join this stream, okay, kalau orang kata macam kenapa nama saya tak ada dalam tu, tapi malangnya awak terlepas sebab daripada pukul 2.30 sampai 3.50 sebenarnya kita orang, kami lah, Committee of Aviation Exhibition dah buka Google Form untuk kalian mengisi apa, Google Form tu lah untuk isi nama, untuk letak nama dalam apa, lucky draw ni. So Ifa,
Okay,
would
so
you do it?
audience kita sudah bersedia. Kalau sudah bersedia, macam biasa, give emoji love dekat Ifa, dekat live chat tu. So kita nak tengok.
Saya dah bagi.
Bukan Aiman.
Oh, bukan saya. Saya ingatkan saya. Okey, maafkan saya.
Okay, bukan Aiman. Okay, so nampak dah.
Saya nampak ada orang.
Lagi. Tak cukup ni, tak cukup kasih sayang lagi.
Ada 21 orang yang menonton. Siap ada apa, plus sign tu. Itu bukan love, itu medic tu. Tapi tak apa, saya akan consider sebagai love. Okey, Siti Sarah Abdurrahman, Ahmadiyah Hanis. Okey. So setakat ni dah ada lah. Cukuplah orang.
Okay, Ifa nak ingatkan, remind kita punya audience. So kalau sekali kita dah spin, appear nama anda, so anda diminta untuk respon dekat dalam live chat kita punya YouTube channel. If korang tak respon, if anda tak respon, kita akan spin sekali lagi lah, kiranya nama anda burn di situ. Okay, so grab this opportunity and berdoalah banyak-banyak, semoga anda menjadi orang yang bertuah. So kita punya nampaknya dah ramai bagi emoji love, and kita punya technical team dah bersedia untuk spin the wheel. Okay, Aiman, count down.
Okay, so kita akan cabut nama yang pertama. Okay, kita akan cabut nama yang pertama. We will pick the first name. Okay, so our technical team has turned the wheel of fortune.
Kita tengok siapa bertuah.
So saya dah nampak dah nama dia. Yes.
Itu dia. Nur Suraya Suryani binti Abdul Haris. Can you give us a thumbs up emoji at our live chat so we can recognize your kehadiran. Begitu.
Your attendance.
Nusraya Suryani binti Abdul Haris.
Tak ada lagi.
Satu. Nusraya Suryani binti Abdul Haris. Dua. Kita kira sampai 3 lah kan. Sampai 5 kali kita dengar. Nusraya Suryani binti Abdul Haris.
Itu dia ada saya. Okey, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, Suryani.
Okey, so kita ada berapa lagi nama yang untuk yang dicabut?
Kita ada lagi 4.
Kita ada lagi 4.
Cabutan lagi.
Okey.
So masih lagi boleh berdoa lagi banyak-banyak. Okey, kita start dengan second spin.
Okey, jom kita second spin. Alright, siapakah agak-agaknya nama yang akan kena? Agak-agak nama kita ada tak dalam ni?
Rasa mungkin ada.
Mungkin ada, tapi mungkin tak ada.
Mungkin ada.
Okey, so nama kedua adalah Ahmad Nazri Wan Idrus. So kalau Ahmad Nazri ada, boleh bagi thumbs up lah. Thumbs up ke ataupun emoji kucing ke, mana-mana je lah.
Betul.
Thumb up Fafa. So
maaflah mana yang nama tak ada tu kan. Kita orang tak dapat bantulah.
Sebab tadi kami dah remind kan sebenarnya untuk isi Google Form tu. Okey.
So Ahmad Nazri Wan Idrus.
Okey, kita start the countdown lah. Oh yes, alhamdulillah ada. So setakat ni dah 2 orang lah yang mendapat cabutan bertuah. Jadi kita akan teruskan kita punya spin the wheel. Okey, lucky draw kita kepada yang ketiga. So siapakah nama itu? Siapakah yang bertuah tu?
Laki ke perempuan? Wang besar. Tapi wang tak besar sangat lah. Cukup makan.
Okey, so nama yang ketiga adalah Mardiah Hanis Karunisa binti Mat Hussein. So ada ke? Laju. Saya rasa inilah paling laju.
Mantap gitu.
Inilah bagus Mardiah ni, bagus.
The depth. Tapi kenapa gambar saya selalu terkeluar-keluar?
Macam saya cakap tadi.
Resis.
Resis. Datuk saya ni resis sikit. Okay, so
tahniah Madia Hanis. Kali ke berapa dah ni?
Yang ni kali keempat lah.
Saja tanya.
Kali keempat. So,
tak fokus.
Ifa, sila take the fortune wheel.
Pusing. Putar Haris. Lupa.
Muhammad Aiman. Okay. Saya ingat Aiman Zikri.
Muhammad Aiman bin Burhani.
Okay. Kalau Aiman Burhani ada dalam ni, tolong bagi emoji apa?
Emoji ni kucing.
Emoji kucing.
Kita orang punya tagline.
Kita orang punya tagline adalah baik punya, tak ada?
Baik punya. Muhammad Aiman bin Burhani.
Ada ke?
Tak ada. Alright, tak alright?
Muhammad Aiman 1.
Muhammad Aiman bin Burhani 2.
Muhammad Aiman bin Burhani 3. Macam tak ada je ni, Ifah.
Muhammad Aiman bin Burhani 4.
Kalau Aiman Burhani tak ada, bagi kat Aiman Zikri boleh?
Tidak boleh.
Tak boleh.
Kita panggil sekali lagi. Muhammad Aiman bin Burhani. Nampaknya
malang sekali. Tiada lah.
Tiada rezeki. So kita spin sekali lagi.
So ada lagi 2 chances untuk korang menang.
Betul.
Draw ni.
Bismillah. Baru nak bismillah.
Humaira Begum. Saya rasa saya nampak dia tadi. Nampak dekat dalam chat lah. Kalau saya nampak dekat depan ni, saya risau kadang. Okay. Humaira Begum. Yes. Betul. Saya rasa betul lah. Kalau ada salah tu, maafkan saya. Saya ada nampak yang dia cakap tahniah tu pada Pak Panah.
Tak komen lagi ni.
Okay. Kita bagi dia masa, kita buat countdown lah. So, Humaira 1.
Nama penuh.
Humaira Begum bin Azhari 1. Humaira Begum binti Azhari 2.
Bangun.
Humaira Begum binti Azhari 3.
Slow sikit.
Saya takut juga kalau dia tiba-tiba tak dengar kan. Internet problem mungkin lah. Mungkin. Belum. Saya ingatkan awak, cara awak react tu macam dah ada. Saya takut. Saya terkejut.
Ada orang komen.
Okay. So, Humaira Begum binti Azhari 4.
Kalau siapa kenal tolong
call.
Ada satu lagi? Apa?
Risau.
Okay, sekali lagi.
Okay.
Humaira Begum binti Azhari.
Yang keempat setengah lah.
4.5.
Kita orang bagi chance sikit lah. Okay, tak apalah.
Last.
Kita bagi last lah. Okay.
Humaira
Begum binti Azhari 5.
So kita ada lagi 2 kali. Bismillah.
Risau. Amirul Azman. Saya rasa dia lah yang cakap risau ni. So
Alhamdulillah.
Saya rasa dia 449 dia chat. Sekarang 450, saya rasa mesti dia ada ni. Kalau tak ada juga, saya lagi risau. So Amirul Azman, sila. Alamak Humaira Begum.
Minta maaf lah.
Minta maaf lah awak terlambat.
Amirul Azman.
Amirul Azman. Saya rasa Amirul Azman dah chat kata saya. So yang keempatnya adalah saya rasa Amirul Azman lah.
Alhamdulillah, bolehlah belanja saya kan?
Kenapa belanja awak seorang?
Tak apalah, saya minta lah nanti.
Faham, saya faham. Okay, so yang kelima lah. Saya rasa nama yang terakhir ni lah. Nama terakhir. So masih ada masa lagi? Tak ada masa, dia orang dah spin. Laju benar. Muhammad Arifki. Muhammad Arifki bin Azadin. So siapakah gerangan Arifki bin Azadin ni?
Yang bertuah untuk hari ni lah.
Saya rasa banyak orang bertuah ni. Cuma diorang, saya rasa dia
tak terlalu bertuah.
Yes, tak terlalu bertuah. Sebab ada yang tak menyaut.
Betul.
So dia macam mungkin terkeluar ke.
Kita tengok tuah ni betul-betul ada ke tak ada.
So
Muhammad Arifki bin
bin Azadin. Muhammad Arifki bin Azadin. Awak ada ke dalam ni? Kalau ada, tolong bagi emoji apa-apa je lah. Saya tak kisahlah emoji apa-apa. Asalkan nama awak ada lah.
Betul. Tak bagi free ni. Kita nak bagi free.
Kita bukan senang orang nak bagi benda free. Betul tak?
Siapa tak suka benda free?
Kalau saya belanja awak make free pun mesti awak makan kan. So macam Jangan lepaskanlah peluang ni.
Betul.
So Muhammad Arifki bin Azadin bin 1, Muhammad Arifki bin Azadin 2. Ya, lambat sikit lah. Kita bagi lambat sikit. Mana tahu dia internet problem.
Betul-betul.
Kena faham lah.
Dah connecting balik. Yang mana audience yang macam dah lama masuk boleh refresh balik. Takut tak dengar. Takut terlag.
Okay. So Muhammad Arifki bin Azadin 3. Takut ni, saya pun takut. Saya yang takut ni.
Jangan takut.
Okay. Muhammad Arifki bin Azadin 4. Last count. Okay, Muhammad Arifki bin Azadin 5. Malangnya tak ada. Okay, so technical team boleh bosankan roda impian lagi sekali.
Boleh.
Awak technical team? Saya rasa awak ni boleh multitask lah. Tiba-tiba awak kat technical team, tiba-tiba awak kat advisor.
Dia connect.
Connecting.
Kat mana?
Okay. Pemenang yang kelima lah yang saya rasa harap ni yang terakhir lah. Penat panggil nama orang ni. Nurul Afikah binti Zainul Baharin. Okay. So Nurul Afikah binti Zainul Baharin, kalau ada tolong bagi emoji apa-apa je lah. Saya rasa apa-apa yang kalau
tapi
saya
emoji apa-apa tak ada.
Ada. Itu dia. Alhamdulillah. So kita dah dapat ni kelima-lima kita punya pemenang. Okay. So nanti kan our committee team will contact you guys lah.
Betul.
We'll contact you guys and we'll deal with you guys on how to claim your
money prize.
Your prize lah. Your prize.
Betul. Okay, with that.
So berakhirnya cabutan bertuah ini, so it marks the end of the first day.
Yes.
The first day. So you guys jangan lupa, okay? Besok pun ada lagi sekali sebenarnya.
Betul.
Besok pun ada. Besok ada slot apa itu, Ifah?
Esok kita akan pergi terbang tinggi and terbang jauh. Kalau nak tahu lebih lanjut, kena still follow kita punya Instagram dekat IG Aerospace Information Center. Instagram kita akan still uploading itu, and kita punya channel YouTube. Betul. Saya mendengar dari tepi dia kata apa?
Dia kata besok masih ada. Tak ada, besok masih ada lucky draw dan juga quiz.
Betul.
So kalau hari ni awak tak dapat jawab kuis dengan betul, awak tak dapat lucky draw, awak tak lucky lah hari ni kiranya. Mana tahu besok awak adalah orang yang bertuah. Jadi ajaklah ramai-ramai join, dan jangan lupa untuk subscribe kepada YouTube Aerospace Information Center Malaysia.
Betul.
So bukan sahaja boleh dapat information, dapat juga quiz, dapat hadiah daripada quiz dan juga lucky draw. So janganlah lepaskan peluang ni. Orang nak bagi benda free ni, kita jangan tolak. Orang kata orang tua katalah rezeki jangan ditolak.
Begitu.
Okay. So kami telah mendapat satu lagi information yang penting lah. Saya rasa sangat penting.
Betul.
So untuk student MIAT lah, especially yang mengambil Bachelor of Aviation Management.
Betul.
Dan awak berminat untuk menjadi komiti daripada salah seorang komiti of Aerospace Information Center. So yes, betul, committee club. So awak boleh memohon, nanti kita akan share lah dia punya borang tu, dia punya form.
Betul.
Okay. So Ifah pun saya adalah salah seorang daripada komiti of AIC kan?
Betul. So dengan itu saya menjemputlah ramai-ramai BAVM, student BAVM UniKL MIAT untuk memohon menjadi salah seorang family kami, and korang boleh tahu lebih lanjut lah daripada kita orang punya Instagram, and dekat situ kita orang akan update sentiasa.
Betul.
Okay. So Aiman?
So saya rasa dah nak pukul 5 ni, saya pun dah penat, awak pun dah penat, apatah lagi audiens yang menonton daripada pagi.
Betul. So kita beri ruang, kita lepaskan audiens kita pada hari ini untuk berehat, and kita endkan session kita untuk day 1 And jangan lupa kita jumpa.
Besok pun ada session juga.
Betul.
Besok pun ada session juga. Jangan lupa ya kawan-kawan.
Jangan bisik-bisik Aiman Zikri.
Saya
Dekat
bisik.
sikit.
Kan kalau saya cakap kuat nanti kan takut mic pecah. Sebab saya dari tadi macam cakap kuat kan. So
Faham.
takutlah mic
Kita
pecah.
nak habis dah Aiman.
Kita nak habis dah. Okay.
Dia macam tak nak berhenti bercakap. Okay.
Okay.
So with that, thank you so much for all the audience, all the speaker. Thank you thank you for the
star. Oh bukan. Thank you for all the support
dah
that you gave
biasa
me.
nak cakap thank you for the
And,
star tu kan.
We hope to meet you again tomorrow at the same time, at the same place, at YouTube live lah.
Yeah. So with that, thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye bye. Oh saya pula hilang. Okay bye bye. Saya hilang. Bye bye.